Okay guys, let's go through one of our piecewise graphs that we were looking at today. So I have an example that's on here where it is 2x minus 5 and when x is greater than 3, 3x minus 1 when x is less than or equal to 3. So first of all, I can tell by looking at these that that's going to be my turning point. Okay, so I know when I make my tables here in a minute, I'm going to have two tables, remember, because I have two equations. But I know both of these have to start at 3, regardless. So if I go and set these up, if this one says that it is greater than 3, so if I do 2x minus 5 here, if it's greater than 3, the next number greater than 3 would be 4 and then 5. Now, this one right here does not have an equal to, so that means that's going to be an open circle. If I go look at the other one, I have negative 3x plus 1. If this is less than 3, so if I have an equal to with this is going to be filled in. And if I do less than 3, it's going to be 2, and then it's going to be 1. Now I need to go through and start plugging my number in. So in this one, I'm going to take the x out and put a parenthesis there. And I know I'm going to take these numbers and plug it in there. So a 3 is going to go in there, a 4, and then a 5. So if I plug that in my calculator, that's going to end up giving me, that's going to end up giving me 1. If I plug this in my calculator, that's going to give me 3. If I plug that in my calculator, it's going to give me 5. So I'm going to have the points 3, 1, 4, 3, and 5, 5. And I know when I graph this, it's going to be an open circle. Now, if I go to this other one, it's going to be negative 3, parentheses, plus 5. Or plus 1, excuse me. And then I'm going to plug in these numbers in these spots one at a time. So 3 goes in here, and then 2, and then 1. So if I plug that in my calculator, I'm going to end up with negative 8. If I plug that in my calculator, I'm going to end up with negative 5. And if I plug that in my calculator, I'm going to end up with negative 2. So I have 3, negative 8. It's going to be a filled in circle. 2, negative 5. And 1, negative 2. Okay, I'm going to move this up so we can have a graph to look at here. And I'm going to have to graph those points. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to make my line right down the side here. I'm going to go right there. So now I have my x and y. I get my highlighter here. Remember, my turning point was at positive 3. So 1, 2. So here's positive 3. So I know one graph is on one side of that and one is on the other. Okay, now remember, this one is greater than 3. So I'm going to put that on the top. So greater than 3. 2x minus 5. And less than 3 is going to be the negative 3x plus 1. Okay, so I'm going to start to graph. So the first point that I have right here is at 3, 1. So I go over 3 and up 1. There's my open circle. Then I have 4 and then 3. 1, 2, 3. And 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know my one line's going to go right here. Okay. I'm going to change colors just to make it easier, but if I go look at this second one, I know at 3 it's going to be at -8. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. We're going to pretend it goes down one more. And there's going to be your -8. Okay, 2, -5. And 1, -2. So if I had, my highlighter line went down a little bit here. So my next line is going to be, oops, try a pen there. This is going to be our next line. Oh, I hope yours is straighter than mine. Remember, I'm drawing a little freehand here. So remember, we talked about chutes and ladders before. So if I started my chutes and ladders here, I would start here. I'd come all the way down until I get to the bottom and I'm stuck there. Then I would have to follow this up, so I get on this one, and this would go up in this direction. Okay, now go over the ones in your notebook. If you have any questions, text me tonight and make sure that you have everything answered before tomorrow.